Hello, my name is Fernando Reunião, and what I'm going to present you is a work that has been done by me and Amelia Veiga in the subject of this project. And in fact, this course that will try to give you some different kind of approach related to AI, we are going to go to the detail about the subject of critical thinking that we think that is very important in this subject. We are from University of Porto, particularly I'm from Faculty of Pharmacy, and my colleague, Emily Veiga, is from Faculty of Psychology and Educational Sciences. Well, considering the different aspects of the course, we are going to talk about critical AI literacy, and I will try to give you some approaches that are related to the literature about it, but also concerning our experience with this kind of approach with students and some pedagogical strategies that we can use in order to go in deep about critical thinking, not only for us, but also for the students. I hope that you can find this information something that could be used for your reflection and also could be used for your preparations. And we have some activities that we are going to propose you, that you can do it, to send it to us. And also we will have the opportunity to discuss most of the things at the end of the course, that's the presential session that we will have in Madrid at the end of May. So AI is something that is burning now in the universities, and one of my proposals is that you can try to read some papers of this special issue of the Nature journal, because in fact there is a lot of experience that are sharing in this journal that can be something to inspire you in promoting some kind of changes in your classes, and by using AI, but also by using different kind of technologies. In fact, most of the examples that are shown in this journal are trying to deal with some aspects related with critical thinking. And because of that, I think it could be very interesting to you to read it. Well, when I think about using AI in education, the first thing that came to my mind is a minefield of risks. In fact, we are not naturally prepared to use AI in classes. And most of the time, there is a lot of tools that students are aware about them and are more prepared to use them than us. So sometimes we can be hurt because we are not aware about these subjects or about these tools. And when we realize the results of using them, we can be surprised and we can be difficult how to manage that. So one of the main risks is that we are going to change a lot of things in our life and also in classes because AI. And these changes is a very uncomfortable situation and consists of risks about our approach, because we can say, no, I'm not going to use that at all because I'm not comfortable with that. Or we can try to use them in a way that is not a correct way, and at the end it will be a disaster. So AI technology has the potential to alter business models and also dramatically can alter the university. One of the risks are related about the approach that we can have with AI. The AI has the capacity to mimic human behavior, and most of the time people think that they're talking with another person. And it's not a person that we are talking. I suppose you know that. We are talking about a statistical output, and we need to know that every time, every minute that we are dealing with AI. We are not talking to persons, we are talking to a statistical output. And most of the times, the results that we obtain after a prompt are related with the median result of a statistical. So they are going to give us the result, the most probably result of our search. So it's something that we need to know, because when we are asking something, the answer cannot be the right answer, but can be the most prevalent answer in the internet. And the most prevalent answer can be the true, but can also be the wrong answer at all. So the way that we make the questions and also the context that we make the questions can make the difference about the answer. And we need to be aware about this. In fact, again, with the journal Nature, we have some papers that are trying to tell us the major things that are happening in AI science that can change a lot of our confidence in these kind of tools. Look, one of the papers that just released is that AI can transmit malicious traits using iron signals, or major conference catches illicit AI use and rejects hundreds of papers. Scientists invented a fake disease, AI told people it was real. So some of examples that AI can, as some kind of, not only mistake, can put us doing some mistakes. And this is potentially a great risk in the future when you are going to use AI every day and every time. Another concern is that if we use a lot of AI, it can usurp the autonomous decision making that we have. And in fact, one example is by using GPS in the car. When we are using everyday GPS, we are losing our capacity, our skill to drive without any information of GPS. And we start to think, I don't know how to go to some places that we are very used to go. Because we are changing our mind from this kind of skills, and we are not using that, and we are starting to losing that. And we are starting to become something that, as a rule, to use always GPS and dealing with this information without thinking about it. One of example is that there are some scientific, not only movies but also books, that preview in some way what can happen in the future if we give to AI all the power on us. And I would like to share you about these two, one movie and this book, because if you see this movie, The Space Odyssey, and 2001, in fact, the ship was commanded by a computer that decided at one point of the journey to eliminate all of humans because he need to have the power to obtain the aim of the journey. And it was a decision that the computer made based in a kind of rules that were not dominated by humans. Another story is about a book that's saying that all education is like tapping. So the information I'm putting in our mind in different kinds of aims, and in fact we will have a different kind of roles in society related with this tapping. Well, I hope in the future we don't have this kind of situations, but anyway, it's a risk. Well, there is a document that I'm using for this presentation, and also I'd like to share with you because I think it's a very important document. This AI Competence Framework for Teachers is a document from UNESCO, and you can easily access to it about using these links that you can use in the PDF file that I'm going to share with you. And there are a lot of reflections and also a lot of recommendations that I would like to share with you, but also are very important for this critical thinking. Well, AI tools tend to replace human, and we are seeing that, okay, observing that, and can atrophy teachers' essential competencies. So is another risk of using AI in education. And also our information, our data, are sharing every time that we are using this kind of tools, because when we are going to make a question, it's because we have an interest in the subject, and in some way this information is important. And we need to know that same inputs may lead to different outputs, because we are talking about the statistical result, and the way that we made the questions and also the information that is in the base of the answer can change very quickly. And there is opaqueness in the black box, how it works. And this is also something that is very dangerous, because we don't understand very well how it works, so we cannot be prepared for the results when they are wrong.